Hi guys, today we are talking all about the corn snake and how to keep them in captivity. Hi everybody, this is Corny, and Corny is my corn snake. And he is about a year old, almost. And he is the sun-kissed morph, so he's got these really beautiful red colors. I've had him in my care for a couple months now. So we're gonna go all over how to take care of a corn snake. Corn snakes, also known as the red rat snake, are native to the North Americas. They have beautiful coloration, and they get their name corn snakes due to the patterning on the belly scales, which actually resemble maize or corn, which is pretty cool. Corn snakes have pretty simple care requirements, and we're going to go over them today. We're going to talk about the enclosure size you'll need, the temperature and humidity requirements, your substrate requirements, and we're going to go over their diet as well. So if you're interested in learning about any of that, stick around. For the enclosure size on these guys, for a full adult, you're going to want a 4x2x2. That's 4 foot long by 2 foot deep by 2 foot tall. And that is because while they aren't really chunky or thick-bodied snakes, they get very long. And this guy is only about a year. They get quite long. They can get up to 5 feet. And they are very active as a species. They are a very active species. They move around a lot. They move really fast. And so you want a lot of room for these guys that they have to climb, to hide and burrow, and to be able to stretch out their full body length. So as an adult, you're going to want a 4x2x2. As for babies, you don't want to stick a baby corn snake straight into a 4x2x2. You're going to want to put them in something like a 10-gallon and work their way up from there. So currently, Corny is in a 40-gallon, and his next upgrade is going to be into a 4x2x2, but he still has a while before we even get to that point because he's not even reaching to the full extent of his enclosure yet. However, he's even too big to be put into a 10-gallon or even a 25. That's why he's in a 40. When you're looking for enclosures, something that you might want to think about is getting a front opening enclosures. And that is because this species can be quite shy. And if you are reaching in from above, you can look like a predator to them, especially with, your hands kind of look like claws, and these guys are prey to like birds and hawks and things of that nature. So you want to make sure that if you are going to get a bigger enclosure, you should go with a front opening. Not only is it easier for them, it's easier for you too, to be able to feed them and take care of their substrate, water them, and things like that. Let's move on to temperature and lighting. These guys are pretty straightforward when it comes to temp. They are going to want some heat, so you do want a temperature gradient for them as well. So you're going to want a warm side of about 85 to 90 degrees, and you're going to want a cool side from about 70 to 75. So of course, these temperatures might dip at night. That is completely normal. And, that's not something that these guys aren't used to either, especially due to their native range. That's not something that they wouldn't encounter in the wild. But as far as when lights are on and the heat is on and it's daytime, you want about 85 to 90, and you want a cool side of 70 to 75. Since these guys are ectotherms, this will give them a chance to heat up and cool down. They don't regulate their body temperature like we do. The way that they heat up their bodies is based on the atmosphere around them. So they need that temperature gradient. If they get too hot or if they get too cold, they can move to either side of their enclosure. As far as lighting goes, corn snakes are crepuscular, so they are most active during dawn and dusk. These guys are active. I would say, they're more of a crepuscular species, active in dawn and dusk. Meaning you want to give them 12 hours of light on and 12 hours of light off, minimum. During like the summer when it's, 16 hours of light, you can obviously do that. If you would like to get like temperature lights that are automatic, that would be good too. Just as long as they have a day and night cycle, they'll be happy. Isn't that right, buddy? Let's talk humidity requirements. So humidity for these guys is also pretty straightforward. They don't need anything crazy. Anywhere from 30 to 50% humidity is good for them. However, you do want to make sure you give them a humid hide, as you do with most snakes. Corny has like 3 or 4 humid hides in his enclosure. He has 2 on the warm side and about 2 on the cool side. So obviously you don't have to go that crazy with them. Just make sure that they have a spot where it is mostly humid, so that way they can run in there when they need to shed. Let's talk substrate. You want to stick to something that is loose but holds its shape. So anything like aspen or topsoil and play sand mixture is good for these guys. They like to burrow. So you want something that'll hold its shape when they're burrowing in the substrate. So that also means you want to give them a lot of substrate so they feel comfortable and secure and completely hidden in their substrate. Right now, I have Corny on aspen fibers. That's just because it's easy to clean, and this isn't his forever enclosure. I know he's going to move out of it, and I want to do a fully bioactive setup for him when I move him into his 4x2x2. If you guys are interested in doing a fully bioactive setup, again, you can do it at any stage. I just prefer to wait until they're in their forever enclosure before I start doing the fully bioactive, because I feel like it makes more sense to do it that way. But if you want a cheap and easy way to keep these guys, I highly recommend the aspen fibers. He does great on them. He likes them. It's easy to clean, easy to maintain, and super cheap. While we're on the subject of their enclosure needs, we should talk about enrichment. These guys are a very active species. As I mentioned earlier, he's pretty much always on the move. And so you want to make sure that you give them something that they can climb on, over, around, through. I'll do like a B footage of his enclosure so you guys can see how I have his set up. And it doesn't have to be rocket science, you guys. If you want to see like how I manipulated a lot of these obstacles in his enclosure, I got most of it from the Dollar Tree, and you guys can check out that video if you'd like to see how you can get items for your reptiles at the Dollar Tree. You want to make sure they have something that they can hide from. He is always in the rafters of his enclosures. Like, well, I call them the rafters. It's basically the upper loft section in this enclosure where the screen lid kind of connects to the top base of the enclosure, and he likes to hide out in there. So you want to give him something that they can hang from the ceiling, because these guys will actually climb. They have been seen in trees before. They'll do pretty much anything to get up in the air. So they like to climb, but they need a lot of hiding opportunities as well. You want to escape proof your enclosure. These guys are very escape prone. They're thin-bodied snakes, and they can and will try to escape. It has happened. I thankfully, knock on some wood, have never had Corny escape in my apartment. However, my sister has had a corn snake escape in her apartment. So please make sure any nooks and crannies that you find in your enclosures, you put paper towels or duct tape them or something like that, so that way they are not able to escape through the top, because they will. They are great at trying to escape, and they're fast too. So if they do get out and they are shy and don't want to be handled, sometimes like Corny is, it could be pretty difficult to find them again. Moving on, because I feel like I'm rambling, let's talk about diet. These guys in the wild are rodent eaters. They mostly eat rodents, but sometimes they eat small mammals and birds. and things of that nature. So they're pretty opportunistic. They'll eat pretty much anything. However, in captivity, diet is also pretty straightforward, just frozen thawed mice. Corny's my best eater. He eats every single time. He never refuses a meal. And sometimes he even eats two for me when my other snakes do refuse a meal. So corn snakes will absolutely eat. And, you know, frozen thawed mice can't get, you know, much more difficult than that. You want to make sure you're giving them a water bowl. Not only will they drink out of the water bowl, but they like to bathe in it. So make sure you're giving them that as well. We went over enclosure, we went over temperature and lighting, humidity and diet for these guys, as well as enrichment and what you should put in their enclosures. I couldn't recommend these guys enough. I mean, they are the perfect beginner species. They're a very hardy species, and you know, they are very easy to take care of and a very straightforward species of snake to take care of. So if you guys are interested in getting a pet snake, you've never owned one before, and you're kind of intimidated, look no further than the corn snake. Look at that dumb face. I mean, could it get any cuter than that and less intimidating than that? They're a perfect beginner species. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I hope you learned something. And if you guys are interested in learning more about corn snakes, maybe about where they're from and things like that, go ahead and put a comment down below, and maybe I'll make a video about more about the history behind corn snakes or something like that. Anyways, this video has gone on long enough. If you guys enjoyed, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Ring the bell if you'd like. You can find us on Instagram at Curious Exotics, and you can also find us on Facebook at Curious Exotics as well. So, thank you guys again so much for watching. Have a great rest of your week. And yeah, we love ya. Bye. I tried to start off this video, but Corny decided he did not want to let go of his ladder. So, I mean, like, seriously, this is ridiculous, Corny. This is ridiculous.